This is the Tigers Postcast, your instant game reaction for the Detroit Tigers. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Oh, yes. How about it? A little back-to-back victory action for the Detroit Tigers. Welcome into a live Locked On Tigers Postcast. I am your host, Jake Riepma. You can follow me on Twitter at Jake_Riepma. 3-1. The Detroit Tigers topped the San Francisco Giants in the first of three from Comerica Park. And for the first time this homestand, there's a little win streak, which is it's surprising that it took this long to say that. But, hey, the last two games is more like it and more like Tiger baseball. We'll get into Keider Montero's outing, a very solid outing, and maybe some concerns with Tyler Holton. But the bullpen overall, really, really good. What a gem by this Tigers pitching staff. Javy gets ejected in this one, showing some emotion. We'll touch on that as well. So thanks, as always, for tuning in to a live Locked On Tigers postcast. Buckle up, dial it in. As always, your comments are welcome. And a happy Memorial Day. Thank you to all those who paid the ultimate price and made the ultimate sacrifice so that our nation may remain free. It's a Memorial Day live Locked On Tigers postcast. And let's begin with what we're talking about. The most impactful takeaway from today, I think we can all agree, the pitching staff for this Detroit Tigers that paved the way for the victory.
This is what you'll be talking about.
Starts with Keider Montero getting the start, going 5 innings, and giving this team an opportunity to win. Again, 3-1 the final, and this just the 3 runs from the Tigers, 1 in the bottom of the 4th on a Dillon Dingler RBI single, 2 in the bottom of the 5th on a 2 RBI single from Greene. And the only offense for the San Francisco Giants, an RBI in the top of the 6th inning when Flores singled to center and Matt Chapman scored. And again, that was off the bullpen. So you get the 5 scoreless innings from Keider Montero. And after that, a tremendous job to get out of that 6th inning because at times it got a little bit nerve-wracking, right? And you go through that 6th inning thinking, all right, can the Tigers bullpen limit the damage here? And in the way that the inning began with Tyler Holton on the mound, and he gives up the single and then another single, gives up the single to Chapman, another single to Lee. You got 2 on and 1 out. And it was a quick hook from AJ Hinch, who went right to Hannafy, who, yes, he gives up the single that allows Flores to score. And you're thinking, or I'm sorry, Chapman scores, Flores on the single. You're thinking, okay, can the Tigers limit the damage here? And then he gets the double play ball to limit the damage to 1. So outside of that little mishap in the 6th inning, just tremendous pitching all the way around. And that's what this Tigers team is. It's a team that's going to make it tough to score runs. And this is who we thought the Tigers team would be more often than not. Obviously, the offense has been such a pleasant surprise and one of the best offenses in all of Major League Baseball. But a 3-1 win that's the kind of game that this Tigers team is built to win. Play great defense, excellent pitching, scratch across enough runs, and let the bullpen bring you home. And that's exactly what we saw today. So, hey, in 162 of these, there's not always going to be a ton of, did you see this? Did you see that? In fact, if you were at the ballpark today, you enjoy a Tigers win. You saw the Javy Baez ejection. And again, the 2 RBI single by Greene was just a big league at bat. It was absolutely the definition of professional hitting, and Dillon Dingler continues to rake. But outside of that, this is a game where I'm watching it kind of waiting. Okay, something else going to happen? Something else? No, not really. But hey, you take the victory and you move on. It's a great way to start the series. So let's get into some of these comments on a Memorial Day. Thanks as always for tuning in. We've got Gary Myers leading us off. Love it when we win. Now, Braylon Dennis, your comment is next. Good W. I won't read the other one with the umpiring, but I agree. The umpiring was not good. I mean, the pitch that Javy Baez got ejected on, and with technology nowadays, you can just go online to any of the box scores, whether it's MLB.com, ESPN, I think Fox. I use ESPN. Full transparency. That's an easy box score to follow along, the game cast and everything. And each pitch is going to show you where it lands in relation to the strike zone. And the strike 3 that Javy Baez was called out on was just unequivocally out of the strike zone. So you can't have that if you're a major league umpire. And, the emotion that Javy Baez reacted with was really, in a lot of ways, surprising, because you heard Jason Benetti and Andy Dirks talking about it, that maybe something was said, a line was crossed or whatever it may be, but that's about as emotional as you will see Javy Baez get in that setting. Yeah, I mean, Joey Cora had to be holding him back the best he could. So good thing Cora was able to step in there because Javy Baez looked like he was going to absolutely get physical, I guess, with the home plate umpire. I'm glad that he did not. All right, a couple other comments. Braylon Dennis, solid performance from Montero. Completely agree. Gary Myers, very proud of the pitching today. Gareth Riding said, I feel the same way Baez did that with that poor strike call. Yeah, Gareth, you were ready to fight the umpire as well. Now, the bullpen, back half of the bullpen, Will Vest gets the save today. And the dude with an excellent comment here saying Will Vest is a top 5 closer in all of Major League Baseball. Definitely a 2025 All-Star. I would agree with that for Will Vest. On the season now, that's his 6th save, and he gives up the 1 hit in the 9th inning, but no harm after the strikeout and finishing with the fly ball to right. So there you have it. Tigers bullpen really, really good in this one, aside from the brief stumble in the 6th inning, giving up the 1 run. But fortunately, the Tigers had 3 runs of insurance to work with there. So a good win. And again, it doesn't always have to be this, historic, dramatic, amazing win. It was just, hey, go out there, play 9 solid innings of baseball, and come out with a win. And that's what you saw from the Tigers here this afternoon at Comerica Park. All right, Darth Twerk says the bullpen has not been solid all year, in my humble opinion. I think anyone would agree with you there. The bullpen's been a bit of a disappointment, but I wouldn't classify today as a disappointing day from the bullpen. I think when you string together 9 innings allowing 1 run, you're going to win a lot of those games. So yes, 5 of it was from Keider Montero getting the start and pitching a tremendous game, which we always talk about with Keider Montero. We always know that type of outing is there. You just want to see it on a more consistent basis like we did today. All right. Ahubo, that ump did Javy dirty. I would agree with that. All right. Demetrius McNeil checking in. Jake, one of those days the Tigers will be featured on Sunday Night Baseball. Huge play went to Riley Greene's 2-run single with the bases loaded. There you go. Big single from Riley Greene to bring in 2, which, again, Tigers needed it. Then they win 3-1. All right. Just getting started on this live Locked On Tigers postcast. Always a pleasure to be with you on the air. We'll take a quick break and be back for the second portion of our show. Don't go anywhere. It's a live Locked On Tigers postcast. This episode of the Locked On Tigers postcast is brought to you by FanDuel. The NBA playoffs are in full swing, and every night delivers highlight-worthy performances, major momentum shifts, and can't-miss moments. So whether it's a game-winning shot or a breakout player, there's never ever been a better time to get in on the action. FanDuel makes it easy to stay in the game before tip-off and live in the midst of the game, because you've got player props, performance trends, and same-game parlays. Fans now have more ways than ever to play smart and win big. Which players are showing up in the biggest moments? You tell me. And how could tracking their trends help you build your next bet? That's right. What would it look like to combine live prop bets mid-game based on how the action unfolds? Well, you can do it all on FanDuel. If you're new to FanDuel, it's perfect time to sign up. Head over to FanDuel.com and place your first $5 bet. If it wins, you'll get $200 in bonus bets. Now, we got a series between the Knicks and Pacers. I thought the Pacers were going to run away with it when they're up 2-0 and had a 20-point lead in Game 3, but not so fast. Knicks back in it, and who knows what's going to happen in that Minnesota Timberwolves, Oklahoma City Thunder, game 4 later tonight. But anyways, you want to get in on the action, head over to FanDuel.com. And if you're new to FanDuel, it's the perfect time to sign up because when you place your first $5 bet, if it wins, you'll get $200 in bonus bets. FanDuel.com. And if you're new, your first $5 bet wins you $200 in bonus bets. Make every moment more with FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA. Tigers are victorious over the San Francisco Giants on this Memorial Day. Thank you to those who paid the ultimate price, made the ultimate sacrifice to keep our nation free. On this Memorial Day, we remember you, all of the military, first responders, and those serving our country. Now, that being said, let's get into our Turning Point segment here on a live Locked On Tigers postcast.
Time to reveal where the game was won or lost. It's the Turning Point.
2-run single for Riley Greene is the obvious answer in which this game turned for the better. And the limited offense that the Tigers had this afternoon was enough to get the win. However, it's not without the effort from the bullpen and Keider Montero for that matter. So the starting pitching from Keider Montero with 5 scoreless innings. And then after the 1 run given up in the 6th inning to go 7, 8, and 9 pretty effortlessly, seamlessly, I should say, because obviously it takes effort, but you get what I'm trying to say. I'm just not good at articulating. Bear with me, guys. Bear with me. But Will Vest, excellent in the 9th. And the concern over Tyler Holton just hasn't been the same guy. And as we get into the month of June here, coming right around the corner and closing out the month of May, I think there's enough of a sample size where the concern can be real. And the slider's just not generating the same type of swing and miss that it has in the past. And hopefully this is just a funk that he can work through. But when you talk about trade deadline acquisitions, I think a bullpen arm, another bullpen arm, a guy that can get, that swing and miss that other relief pitchers in this bullpen are struggling to getting outside of Will Vest might be something to keep your eye on as the Tigers continue to cruise atop the AL Central. Now, it's not going to be easy, obviously, because the AL Central, despite what Jeff Passan might think, is one of the best divisions in baseball, if not the best division in all of baseball. And don't tell the National League West that, because obviously with the Dodgers and Giants and Padres, they want to, flex their muscles, which is totally fine. But in the American League, the cream of the crop resides in the AL Central. So be interesting to keep our eye on the chatter, the conversation leading up to the trade deadline. Obviously, still plenty of time with that. I mean, we got more than 2 months here. But remember last year when I remember doing that show live after a day game, and you're just waiting for a move to be made, and then we get off the air, and lo and behold, the Tigers have traded Jack Flaherty, who's now back with the Tigers. So it's always fun the way that deadline plays out and the drama that goes along with it. All right, we got to get to a player of the game. It's time for the Locked On Tigers postcast player of the game.
This is the Locked On Player of the Game.
I got to go Keider Montero. He gets the win today, just the 5 innings, but getting the win now 2-1. Anytime you go 5 and don't give up an earned run, he walked 2, only struck out 3, but did the job. And today was about getting the job done. Riley Greene also with the 2 RBI single with the bases loaded on an at bat that he fell behind 0-2 and was able to just guide one out into right center to bring 2 runs home. So again, it wasn't pretty, it wasn't flashy, but it was effective in the way that the Tigers won this game. All right, more comments to get to as we wrap it up here on a live Locked On Tigers postcast. Braylon Dennis saying Will Vest should be our permanent closer. I don't disagree. I think, AJ Hinch, I remember being in the clubhouse asking him about a closer and, getting a stern answer and response that it's the new age of baseball of not necessarily putting a label on your best relief pitcher. It's whatever the situation calls for. So all of that is warranted by all indications. All right. Gary Myers says, Jake, I feel by the trading deadline, we could use an 8th inning setup pitcher and another bat. What's your feelings? Yeah, I started to get in on that. Almost like you read my mind there, Gary, because I agree. For sure, the bullpen, an 8th inning guy, a guy that gets that swing and miss that you can go to, bring in the pen and call out of the pen, I should say, and you have that utmost confidence in that they'll get the job done. Because Bo Brisky was good today. That's encouraging, and that he was that guy last year, but we haven't seen the lights out Bo Brisky that we've seen in years past. So that's one to be at least a little bit aware of, just in terms of what could that bullpen need as far as a boost. And another bat would be ideal. Absolutely. I mean, it's hard because, by bringing in another bat, you're thinking, okay, who does that leave on the outside looking in? And is it Trey Sweeney? He makes a nice play there in the 9th at the shortstop position. And he's done so much to try to earn that spot as the everyday shortstop. Is it, with all the guys coming back, you look up and down that Toledo Mud Hens lineup from today, and you got 7 different guys with major league experience there. So there's guys that are not saying that they'll be the ones to cure any offensive issues that this Tigers team has, but there's a lot to be considered as far as what, fine tuning this championship level team looks like. So appreciate everybody tuning in today. And it's always great to get a win. And it's always great to have a little Tiger discussion, a collaborative environment. It's the Locked On Tigers postcast. A reminder to make sure you check out Locked On Tigers, the daily deep dive with Scott Bentley. Glad to have him back and better than ever. And for the Locked On Tigers coverage, it's free and available wherever you get your podcast. And of course, on YouTube. So Tigers and Giants back at it tomorrow. Who we got on the mound tomorrow? That is a great question, and I should have it memorized by now. Bear with me. Tigers will have Jack Flaherty on the bump tomorrow. How about that? Great pitching matchup tomorrow night on Tuesday, 6:40 first pitch. Jack Flaherty and Logan Webb. Nice little pitching matchup there. Logan Webb's been pretty good this year. 5-4, 2.67 ERA. Jack Flaherty, 2-6, 4.39 ERA. So need a nice start from Jack Flaherty to get back to that level that we know he's capable of pitching at. Looking forward to that. And then in the finale, a little day game action on Wednesday. You got Jackson Jobe going for the Tigers. And we'll be with you on the Locked On Tigers postcast. Thanks as always for tuning in. A great finish to the long weekend, as Cole Ziegler says. Couldn't agree more. Enjoy the rest of your long weekend. It's nearing 4 o'clock and maybe got a Memorial Day cookout to close it out, whatever it may be. Thanks as always for tuning in, and we'll see you next time on the Locked On Tigers postcast.